What's good, everybody? Today we are doing a review of my new, from the AD, Rolex Datejust Oyster Perpetual with the reference number 1263. Shoot, I can't remember. Is it 126300? I think that's the one. Okay, let me look quickly. No, I didn't prepare for this. Okay, 126303. I was close. See, it's right here. So as far as I know, the numbers, they all represent the configuration. Like a 3 would be gold, a 0, I think, means on the Oyster bracelet. And then, I don't know. I think. Getting confused. But anyways, this is the Datejust 41, not to be confused with the model before it, which was the Datejust 2. They both look very similar. Before I got this, I was aware there's a Datejust 2 and a Datejust 41, but to my eyes, I know the case is slightly different on them, but to my eyes, it was incredibly difficult to tell the difference just from a picture, which one was a Datejust 2 and which one was a Datejust 41. I believe the Datejust 2 has a bulkier case. I think it's wider. If I'm wrong, let me know. The Datejust 2 was only made for a few years, I believe, and then this Datejust 41 replaced it in 2016. To me, the Rolex Datejust is kind of one of their most iconic. And I own the GMT and I also own the Submariner, but the Datejust for me is their most iconic design. It's kind of like the watch where you wear it at a restaurant and anyone can glance at it, especially if this was on a Jubilee bracelet. They can glance at it and you just know it's a Rolex or a knockoff Rolex. But designs like the Submariner and the GMT, those case designs, a lot of other companies have now made watches that are divers and they look very similar. The Sub is probably the most copied watch. But as far as a Datejust, I'm sure other companies copy this watch, but the Datejust is kind of their most iconic and recognizable watch. So I mentioned in my other videos that I've had other Datejusts before, but they were pretty much the complete opposite of this configuration, which has a smooth bezel and the Oyster bracelet. All the other vintage models I had the fluted bezel and the Jubilee bracelet. I think after a while of because I've owned so many vintage Datejusts, after a while, I kind of got sick of just the Jubilee with the fluted look, because it kind of just looks like my old vintage Datejust, the 36 millimeters. And so, but anyways, when I got this, honestly, from if an AD calls me and tells me they have something available, I'm just buy it. I'm not even thinking twice. Just show up with a band stack of cash and then just buy it. Whatever the fuck they got, I'm just gonna buy it. So of course, I didn't have much of a choice with this configuration, but I really like it. I mean, I like all Rolexes really. So this Datejust has the 30 to 35 caliber movement, which doesn't mean shit to me because I don't know, I know when movement is important to people, but after a while it's just it works. So I'm not really a movement snob. I'm more into the design and look of a watch, not really the movement. The power reserve for this watch is 70 hours, which is a lot longer than a lot of my other watches, which are roughly around I think 42 hours or 48 hours. I think the previous Batman model was only 42 hours, I think. So I've been wearing this for the past week or so, and so I work in an environment where it's a lot of luxury and supercars and people with high-end watches. So everybody is always looking at my wrist. I know a lot of times on forums people say They say like nobody's gonna notice your watch, but that is not the case for me because in the environment I work in, everyone is looking at your watch, and immediately when people see this, like either even if they don't know watches, they ask me if it's a Rolex. Um, and if they do know watches, they'll just be like, "That's a very nice Datejust." I think the gold really captivates people's eyes. Like imagine this in full stainless steel. Like if you're just at a restaurant, like or in a meeting, they may not immediately think it's a Rolex, but with the two-tone gold, and of course the magnifier, the Cyclops, they undoubtedly will know it is a Rolex. As far as preferences go regarding the bracelet, the Jubilee versus the Oyster, can you actually get the Jubilee with the smooth bezel? I'm not even sure. Like I try to go on Rolex's website, but it's so hard to navigate that fucking thing. But anyways, if you guys know, let me know if you can get the smooth bezel with a Jubilee or if the Jubilee only comes with a fluted bezel. The gripe I have with the Oyster bracelet, which is the same for my GMT Batman, is it can attract scratches and fingerprints really easily. Whereas if it had the Jubilee bracelet, I'm sure it could hide the scratches because there's just so much going on. So I find myself like being very careful, especially with this part right here. Like if I'm at my desk or whatever, I try not to bang on it. Kind of the second thing that I don't really like. I was gonna say like I was gonna say like it's not that I don't like it, but yeah, I actually don't like it. It's the clasp. Like I don't know about you guys, but I just feel it's unsecure with just one click. Like I wish it was like a click and then another safety lock. How about you guys? Like I feel like this could fly. Like obviously it's not going to, but I just have this feeling like I'm gonna accidentally pop this open somehow. Whereas if you have the extra layer of protection, I don't know, make my heart feel a little bit more secure. And then kind of same thing with the smooth bezel. Like I'm really afraid of like banging it on anything. Whereas I think if it was a fluted bezel, it would be so difficult to see scratches on a fluted bezel. Honestly, maybe I should pick up that configuration as well. In addition to this, this one I'm a little bit more scared to wear compared to my other watches. Like this, like my Hulk has the Oyster bracelet, but it's brushed, so it's not as bad as this. This I feel like if I get scratches on it, it's gonna show up a lot. Other than that, I really do love this watch a lot. As you guys know, I also have the Tudor Day Date, which I had originally got to kind of scratch the Datejust itch. But I ended up adding this into my collection anyway, so I'll probably be doing a comparative review between the Tudor Day Date Royal, the Tudor, couldn't think of the name, the Tudor Royal versus the Datejust. Anyways, that's about it. I got a lot of questions like in regards to like the waiting list. I'll go more in depth in a different video, but so this at this boutique. It was my first purchase there. I purchased my Rolexes elsewhere before, and honestly, like I never had to go on a wait list. Not even this one. But I'll get more in depth in regards to that in a different video. Peace.